It is an honor to be speaking with you about service systems for digital communities. So I want to first talk about a few terminologies to make sure that there's no confusion. So the title of my talk is Service Systems and Digital Communities. What is a service system? It is really a combination of people, communities, technologies, knowledge that co-create value. It is, we look at, as Martha said, systems in totality, and technology alone we think is not going to solve all of our problems and help us realize the opportunities that are there. Also, the word service sometimes conjures up some confusion. Service means different things to different people depending on your background, whether you come from an IT background, whether you are working in the government. So we define service. We have a very broad definition of service, which is the application of competencies for the benefit of others. And you can really think of service with this broad sense, that which is not agriculture or manufacturing that contributes to the GDP of nations and the world. So it really encompasses a lot of offerings and value that's being created. And then the term service science. Who has heard of service science? Okay, wow, one, that's great. Two, of course. I knew Martha has heard of that. So now you have. So service science is the study of service systems, and it's a really study of systems theory for value co-creation. So what do you think these companies have in common? Any guesses? Okay, they're all global companies. They're all platform companies. As platform companies, they have created huge ecosystems around their platforms. And most of the value they have created, if you look carefully, are in services. There are products that they offer, but even a company like in the case of Apple, even their products are platforms of services, and increasingly they're being pressured to move towards services. So from a service science lens, all of these companies are service platform enterprises. And this is what we study in my organization, as Martha mentioned. It's as service platform enterprises as service systems. Service platforms have created tremendous value over the last couple of decades. If you look at top internet companies, only 24 years ago, the market valuation of those top public companies was only $17 billion. In today's dollar terms, is about $28 billion. And the top public platform companies, the ones that I showed, have created $2.5 trillion of value as of 2015. And I'm not even counting the $500 million the $500 billion that startups have created. So service platforms have created tremendous amount of value. And when you look at these companies, they are mostly digital native companies. They didn't exist, with the exception of a few, they didn't exist 24 or 25 years ago. And these digital native service platform enterprises has created tremendous amount of competition to existing companies, driving the need for digital transformation, especially in existing companies, in companies that we know as digital immigrants. But creating service platform enterprises, becoming service platform enterprises, becoming service-oriented is complex and it is difficult to do. And so for that reason, this research in services and how to really do services systematically has grown over the last couple of decades. Just a little bit of background. Service marketing, service management, service engineering, research grew in the 90s, and then in mid-2000, IBM, a company that was a leader in manufacturing space, found itself really being outcompeted by a lot of these service platform enterprises, and needed to go back to the drawing board and look at how do companies like IBM produce services systematically, rapidly, efficiently, and globally, and do it in a repeated way. So went back to academic research, started an extensive program with academics worldwide, and started what became service research in IBM, and then coined the term service science. So service science really comes from that. And then in 2013, they founded, together with Cisco and a few other companies and several universities, my organization, which is the International Society of Service Innovation Professionals, in order to work with researchers across the world to understand service systems better and to promote skills for service innovation. So a bit about my organization. We are a membership-based organization. We are a nonprofit organization. Our mission is to promote service innovation globally, and we help our members, many of them digital immigrants, with digital transformation through the lens of service innovation. And what we do, we bring industry and academia together to do joint conferences, workshops, do joint research, and publications. We have a book series. If you're ever interested in publishing, talk to us. And of course, we promote service innovators across the globe by giving them awards and sponsorships. We have more than 1,400 people, members, that represent more than 200 universities and 50 companies, and in 42 countries. So we are global, and we have members from China. So over the last several years, working with our members that as I said, they are digital immigrants as opposed to digital natives. We've seen a need for a framework for digital transformation through the service innovation lens. And this is the framework that, together with them and a lot of distinguished academics, we have come up with and have been testing these with various companies over the last couple of years. So this framework consists of 6 fundamental factors, several of which Martha talked about. It requires a digital platform, a service platform. It requires value co-creation. It requires open innovation, dynamic capabilities, and people-centered design. And I'll talk about each of these briefly. So The digital platform, the basis of the digital platform, some call it the third platform, is mobile, social, cloud, and data analytics. And increasingly, those are being accelerated by things like AI, IoT, 3D printing, robotics, next generation security, blockchain, and other technologies, accelerating the rate of innovation. And you can really think of the digital platforms for service platform enterprises as factories are to industrial companies. One enables mass production, the other enables mass customization. But a lot of companies, when they go through digital transformation, they actually stop at this phase. They basically bring a lot of technologies, hoping that digital transformation will happen by itself. And in fact, there was a study done in 2016 that revealed that about 80% of digital transformation efforts fail. And we believe it's because that holistic view of digital transformation is missing. It is too technology focused, not enough looking at business models, not enough looking at organizational models. How do we leverage data? The other factor is the service platform distinguished from the digital platform. The service platform brings in the ecosystem, the digital communities, and algorithmically allows for millions of producers to co-create value with millions of users. And the success of service platforms isn't just the technology platform and the ecosystem. It goes beyond that. It is the ability to engage the humans, the customer, all the stakeholders, the employees, the partners, the suppliers. It is really the ability to co-create value with all the stakeholders. And what that requires an efficient channel for value co-creation, and Martha, again, talked about that. It is having application programming interfaces that can scale digital transformation, that can bring the different assets, data assets, service assets, for value co-creation amongst the stakeholders. And API can be used inside companies for simplifying backends, and they can be used outside of companies, between industries. And in fact, what we see, and a recent study by McKinsey has shown that not enough companies in their digital transformation journey really are intentional about APIs and miss a lot of opportunities. So that is really another area that's a very important factor. And in fact, when we come to smarter cities, that's also an important factor. How do we engage businesses? How do we engage citizens? Another component is open innovation. Open innovation, it's a work that has been deeply researched by Professor Henry Chesbrough at UC Berkeley. And open innovation is an important component of service platform enterprises. Different companies from different sectors have been doing open innovation and taking advantage of open innovation. Open innovation is really two ways. One is outside in, one is inside out. Outside in, companies go to universities to startups to other companies to acquire ideas and do joint research and collaboration. And then inside out is companies with technologies that are non-core, basically look into spin-outs and licensing. The other component is dynamic capabilities, having the ability to change quickly and having a versatile organization at any given time. Dynamic capabilities is also a work, research done, Professor David Teese at UC Berkeley has pioneered that. The ability to sense opportunities, reconfigure the organization, and seize the opportunity. And this, what this slide shows is really the comparison between a company that has had very strong dynamic capabilities and another company that has strong capabilities but not strong dynamic capabilities, each of them leaders in their own time. And you can see the difference in productivity when dynamic capabilities implemented well. And the numbers have been adjusted for today's dollars. So, I thought you might find this pretty interesting. And the last part is people-centered design. As Martha said, let's not forget the human in all of these service platforms. Human and the ecosystem and people who are playing in those ecosystems are at the center of it. Customer centricity is a must, but we have to go beyond that. We have to be partnering with employees, with partners and suppliers, and the greater society and the greater community. So design thinking, which actually Stanford is a pioneer in that field, is becoming very important to enterprises and institutions. And a recent study by Accenture revealed that more than 85% of executives believe design thinking is a must skill for them. And that is evident by the number of acquisitions that have been done by companies like IBM, Accenture, Deloitte, Facebook in this space. And design companies are very much in demand, and design is a very hot area for the right reason, because technology is being integrated in every aspect of our life, and the experience is very important. And empathy for people is very important in designing our products and services. So these are the 6 elements of service-oriented digital transformation. Here is further reading if you're interested in that. And I thank you very much for your attention, and look forward to your questions later.